guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Kenza and I'm a certified personal trainer. Please make sure you hit that subscribe and like this video. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok where I share a lot of workouts, food tips, fitness tips, and anything you probably need, so make sure you check them out. Today we're going to be talking about how to lose fat and get lean in a healthy, sustainable way, because I have tried to lose fat before and I have failed, but with research and the right knowledge I was able to do it. So I'm going to explain to you guys how to do it the right way and maybe reasons why you're not seeing the results you want to see, diet, exercise, and everything you need to. Before we dive into like the hard facts and like all the information you're gonna need, I'm gonna talk about my journey and how I learned how to do it. So a few years ago I got into weightlifting, but I wasn't very consistent. Like I didn't actually see real results. It was just kind of random. Like I would just go to the gym, do random workouts, and I kind of like saw some progress, but I didn't actually like achieve my goal, which was fat loss and getting toned and looking like more muscular and toned. So I basically didn't really pay attention to my nutrition, and this one time when I actually tried to lose fat, I ended up gaining weight. And I kind of just started blaming my genetics, and I thought there was something wrong with me, but it was just like I didn't have the knowledge. I just didn't know how calories worked, so I kind of just gave up and I got discouraged. So the real transformation that really happened was about 5 months ago or 5 months ago, I'm not sure. I decided to do a cut, which means I just tried to lose fat, and I'm going to explain what a cut and everything means, so please just don't be discouraged because you don't know what it means. So I decided to go on a cut and I lost fat, about 15 pounds, but the real change wasn't about the scale number that I lost. It was more about my body composition. Like I actually gained muscle and lost the fat, which was the real change. Like I didn't actually care that much about how many pounds I lost. I just really cared about how different I looked. Like it's not about the number, it's how different you look, because that number can look so different on so many people depending on the body composition, which basically just means how much muscle and how much fat you have. First of all, let me just say that you cannot spot reduce fat. The amount of times I tried to do it and failed is just too many, because I was just so misled by YouTube workouts or just fake influencers telling me to do this workout just to like reduce my thigh fat and just like get toned abs and like reduce belly fat. You cannot spot reduce fat. It's just not possible. It's not how our body works. It took me about 3 to 4 months to lose those 15 pounds of fat, and my first tip is to take it slow and be patient, because fat loss takes time, and in order to do it in a healthy, sustainable way, it has to like take a few months. If you're losing like 20 pounds in 1 month, that is not healthy and it's not sustainable. It's putting your body under so much stress, and life is just more than just about losing 20 pounds in 1 month. Like there are way better things to focus on. There are better ways to do it, and I'm gonna explain how you can do it. The first thing I should probably clarify is that weight loss and fat loss are not the same thing. Weight loss just means you're losing pounds, and the lost pounds can come from muscle, fat tissue, and anything, but fat loss, you're trying to keep the muscle and target like the weight loss from the fat itself, so you're only trying to lose the fat and keep muscle at the same time. What I mean by you shouldn't care about how many pounds you lose, because if someone lost 15 pounds but they lost weight, they're not going to look the same as someone who lost 15 pounds of fat. And I'm not saying that weight loss doesn't mean you're losing the pound from fat, but you're just also losing muscle mass with it. First, let's talk about calories and how our body works, so you guys can understand what a calorie deficit is. So basically just imagine your body's like a machine, and calories are just units of energy, and I think that if you think of it as just fuel, just like fuel is energy for a car to run, food is just calories, and calories are just energy for your body to just function and keep you alive. Something called TDEE, which is your total daily energy expenditure. That's the total number of calories your body burns in a day. Now, TDEE has many components, and I'm going to explain each one of them and how understanding each component can help you achieve your fat loss goals. Me just sitting down, my body is burning calories just to keep me alive and to like do functions like breathing, my heart beating, and just like things like and keeping my body warm. That burns calories. So that's known as BMR, your basal metabolic rate. That's the number of calories your body burns just to keep you alive. Like imagine if you just sat down on your bed the whole day, your body is still burning calories just to keep your body alive. The average metabolic rate, like it's gonna vary from person to person, also depending on your age, height, weight, so the heavier you are, the higher your metabolic rate. Men tend to have a higher metabolic rate than women, and an average is like 1200 to 1400. So that's why people tell you to never eat below 1200 calories when you're trying to do like an extremely low calorie diet, because your body needs a minimal number of calories just to keep you alive, and you don't want to go below that, because that's just gonna be classified as starvation, and it's gonna be harder for you to lose the fat. Okay, so now we have talked about BMR, your basal metabolic rate, which is a component of TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure. Now we're going to talk about your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That means the calories burned from activities that are not classified as exercise. For example, just walking around the house, cooking, cleaning. Those are non-exercise. We also have exercise activity thermogenesis, which means the calories burned from exercise, such as structured walking, like you decide to go on a 30-minute walk and you keep walking for 30 minutes straight. You do a weightlifting session, you do a swimming workout, you do a cycling workout, anything that is classified as a structured workout that you have planned to do. The reason why I explained what each component is because manipulating these components can help you achieve your fat loss goals, and I'm going to talk about it in depth in the next few minutes. Maintenance calories are the calories you need to maintain your weight. That means you're eating just as many calories as your TDEE. If you give your body just as many calories as it needs, you're not going to lose weight and you're not going to gain weight. Calorie deficit just means you're eating less than your TDEE, and here's how a calorie deficit promotes fat loss. So if you give your body less food or energy than it needs, it's gonna have to get that energy that it's missing from the inside. So to make this easy to understand, your body is literally gonna eat itself just because you're not giving it enough food from the outside. For example, if your body burns, your TDEE is 2,000 calories a day, but you only eat 1,800 calories, there's a difference of 200 calories missing. Those 200 calories missing, your body is going to actually burn fat from the inside to compensate for those 200 calories. What I mean by it's going to burn fat, it's going to burn 200 calories worth of fat in your body. So to burn 1 pound of fat, that is equal to 3,500 calories. If you divide 3,500 calories by 7 days a week, you get 500 calories. So that means you need a 500 calorie deficit every day in a week to lose 1 pound of fat per week. Make this more clear. So fat is just energy, and what I mean by 3,500, I mean fat is worth 3,500 calories. To go back to my 2,000 calories a day, if your body burns 2,000 calories a day and you're trying to do a 500 calorie deficit, that means you're subtracting 500 calories from 2,000 and you get 1,500 calories. That's how many calories you need every single day to burn 1 pound of fat per week. Please keep in mind that the 1,500 calorie deficit is just an example so I can explain the concept to you guys. So it's not a recommendation. It is not going to work for everybody because it depends on so many factors, like I explained, like your weight, height, and age. Now I'm going to explain how you guys can find your TDEE, which is your total daily energy expenditure. Now this method is not 100% accurate. This serves as like a starting point, a rough estimate that you guys can start with, and then you should definitely adjust based on your progress you're making, whether or not you're actually losing fat, gaining weight, and things like those. So if you type in TDEE online calculator, you're gonna find a bunch on Google. You're probably gonna get confused and be like, okay, which one am I supposed to use? The answer is it doesn't really matter which one you use because they all kind of use similar formulas, and they might give you like slightly different answers depending on which activity level you choose and stuff. But don't get confused, just pick one and start with that one and then adjust your calories based on your progress, and I'm going to explain how you can do that. To find your calorie deficit, all you have to do is subtract 200 to 500 calories, but reduce your calories slowly until you've hit like your target number. For example, if your target is a 500 calorie deficit, which means you're losing 1 pound of fat per week, try to slowly reduce your calories by like start with a 200 calorie deficit, then slowly subtract 100 every week, so you can do it in a progressive, slow way without shocking your body. There's a special case where people have been dieting for a long time, and that means your metabolism has slowed down. So the reason why this happens, it's called metabolic adaptation. If you give your body less food for a very long time, your body is actually going to become more efficient at surviving with that amount of food, and your metabolism is going to slow down. So that is not going to be your calorie deficit anymore. That means your maintenance calories, your TDEE, has slowed down. And that means you might not be ready to go into a calorie deficit by even like further reducing your calories, because you don't want to be eating too little. That's going to make it harder for you to lose fat, and I'm going to explain how you can overcome that. Now that we have talked about the calorie deficit, now we're going to talk about how much protein you should be eating. So in order to lose fat and preserve muscle mass, you have to be eating enough protein. Now studies have shown that the optimal range of protein intake is 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. For example, if I am 64 kilograms, I need to multiply that by a number between 1.6 to 2.2. Now, it is actually possible to build muscle in a calorie deficit. That means there has been like these claims that you need to be in a caloric surplus and bulk so you can build muscle, but you can actually build muscle on a cut, eating on a calorie deficit, because building muscle is actually stimulated by two factors: how much protein you're eating and your training, as in like, are you lifting weights? In order to eat in a calorie deficit in a healthy and sustainable way without feeling too weak or too hungry all the time, is to change some of your eating habits and practice some tips or eating habits that have helped me to actually like stick with my calorie deficit and not get too weak and too hungry and just give up. Just like I said, you should not be eating too little. I personally believe no one should be eating below 1200 calories or even 1400 calories, especially if you are active. Like, just like I said, the average BMR is like 1200 to 1400 calories a day, and if you are active, your body is burning a lot of calories, and you're basically putting yourself in a very big deficit and putting your body in so much stress, and that stress actually releases stress hormones like cortisol, which has been shown to make fat loss so much harder for you. So please do not starve yourself. That is not the way to do it. Or that special case, if you have been dieting for a long time, your metabolism has slowed down and your maintenance calories have slowed down, and you just don't want to be eating even less because that is not sustainable, I would highly recommend you try reverse dieting or just taking a diet break. A diet break lasts about 2 weeks, where you up your calories up to maintenance calories just to like speed up your metabolism again, and that really helps. Reverse dieting just means it's the opposite of dieting. It's called reverse dieting. That means you're going to be slowly eating more. Just like I said, you should be slowly reducing your calories. In reverse dieting, you're slowly adding calories. That's about 50 to 100 calories. I'm not going to dive in because it's a big topic and it probably needs like a separate video so I can explain how to do it. But that's reverse dieting, so you can definitely do more research on it so you can fix your metabolism. So now we have talked about how you should be eating in a calorie deficit, and you should also be eating a high protein diet, 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. I'm going to talk about some habits, some eating habits that have helped me stick with my calorie deficit, and they're probably also going to help you stick with your calorie deficit because it's a smart way of eating that prevents you from getting hungry and getting too weak. This is called volume eating. You've probably seen the word on TikTok or something, but people never actually explain what it is. Volume just means eating big, low-calorie meals. Now, the reason why people tell you to eat healthy is because healthy, like natural whole foods, naturally have less calories, which means you can eat more of them for less calories. Now, eating healthy alone does not mean you're going to lose fat, because you can eat healthy, but if you're not eating in a caloric deficit, you're not going to be losing the fat you want to lose. I made the mistake where I thought eating healthy was enough. Like, I ate healthy, but I actually ended up gaining weight because I was in a caloric surplus. That means I was eating more than my TDEE. So the misconception was like, oh, I was eating healthy, so I can like eat way more, but I was eating way too much. Like, my portions were way too big. I would have like 2 plates. And I just didn't listen to my hunger cues, and it was just like a really bad phase. So when I was cutting, I basically tried to eat more volume foods like vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean proteins like chicken, tuna, non-fat Greek yogurt. Like, those high protein foods are going to be your best friend. Like, make sure you have protein with every single meal, because protein takes a longer time to digest and break down, which means it's going to keep you it's gonna keep you full longer. And just like I explained, you need to be eating a high protein diet, so having protein with every single meal is gonna make it so much easier for you to actually hit your protein goal for the day. And instead of having bigger meals, I had like 4 to 6 meals a day. It was like small meals, and it really helped me really helped me stay full and energized, because I like to have a meal before working out, after working out, and having like many small meals with protein with every meal really helped me just stay full, energized, and hit my protein goal. And the really cool part, sometimes when I posted my what I eat in a day videos without mentioning the calories, like it was like, whoa, like if you see how big my meals were, like there's no way I'm eating a calorie deficit. And that's what I mean by you can actually do it in a very healthy, sustainable way. Like I was eating way more because I was practicing volume eating, but now I'm kind of eating like less because I'm eating like more caloric dense foods. But when I was cutting, I felt like I was eating more food, if that makes sense. That's the beauty of volume eating. You can't tell that you're actually eating less because your meals are just actually big, and sometimes actually get stuffed by dinner. And while I was cutting, I did not have to, like, I was still eating a lot of carbs. There's a very big misconception that you have to cut out carbs in order to lose fat. That is just completely false. The only thing that affects your fat loss is how much you're eating and how much protein you're eating. So I personally like to eat a lot of carbs when I'm, like, not a lot, but I don't like to limit my carbs. I get a lot of protein, and then the rest is a lot of carbs and some fat. The reason why is because carbs is the main source of energy for your body, and if you're cutting, you're going to be low on energy. And if you're also cutting out carbs, it's double homicide. Do not do it, because you're not going to have energy. That's why I like to have carbs with every single meal. That's what gives me energy for my workout. That's how I stay sane. Another big tip is to eat a lot of fiber. Not too much, but a lot of fiber. And that's why I say eat a lot of veggies, because veggies are full of fiber. You also eat a lot of whole grains, beans, lentils, chickpeas. Those are full of fiber, and your body cannot break down fiber, so it basically keeps you full. Now for my protein, there are some like sources that I ate every single day. That includes protein powder. Now it's not a requirement. Protein powder is just like an easy, convenient source of protein because it has like 24 grams protein per scoop. So just use it if you want to make your breakfast, like for oatmeal. It tastes so good. You can also make protein French toast. Like I even have a recipe on my page, and it's just like such a big volume meal, and you just couldn't tell it was only like 450 calories for like 3 pieces of French toast with like peanut butter and yogurt and all those like fancy toppings on top. It was so good, and it was only 450 calories. So that's what volume eating is. You just have to make those healthy swaps. For example, for my French toast, I would use egg whites, protein powder, PB powder, that's like a powder peanut butter which has less calories and more protein. I also use non-fat Greek yogurt on top of my French toast. I added some sugar-free syrup. I also ate a lot of extra lean ground turkey, ground chicken. You can also have some ground beef. Seafood is like one of the most underrated protein sources, like tuna. Like a tuna can has so much protein, it's so low calorie. Non-fat Greek yogurt is amazing. If you are vegan, try tofu, beans, lentil, any like soy based products. I guess you can also find a lot of like protein plant-based products in the vegan sections in the superstore, so maybe look out for those. And yeah, those are like the main things I kind of ate. Like I said, you can find all the recipes still posted on my Instagram, on my story highlights, and on my Reels section where I shared all of my what I eat a day. Now, a very big one is a sweet tooth snack. Like you probably just always want to have something sweet by the end of the day. And I had so many low calorie ideas that I could eat. I was obsessed with like protein ice cream. I called it protein ice cream. It was basically just like protein powder with it was like a protein smoothie, but it was really thick, and it looked and tasted like ice cream. So I was kind of obsessed with that. I also was obsessed with Flourish protein pancakes. I am still obsessed with them. They're basically just like low calorie protein pancakes. So freaking good, so filling because they're so high in fiber and protein. I was obsessed with like Greek yogurt balls because they're low calorie, super yummy. Things like those are gonna save your life. You can also find a lot of like low calorie ice cream options if you go to the superstore. I know there's like low calorie ice cream bars. There's also low calorie brownies and stuff like that. So those are lifesavers, and it's okay to have them if you're trying to reach your goal. Okay, this is very important, take notes. Drink water. So many people are drinking way less water than they need. Like, our body is 60% water. You need to drink a lot of water. Like, the recommendation for females is like 2.7 liters per day, and males is like 3.7 or something like that. And if you're active, you're probably gonna need way more. So I aim for at least 3 liters of water per day. Like, I have my hydro jug. I don't have it with me right now, but it's like I drink 1.5 of it every single day, and it just helped me drink water so much. I'll have it linked. But drink your water, for real. Like, it's gonna, sometimes if you feel hungry, you're actually just thirsty because you're just dehydrated. So please, like, when I first wake up, I drink like 2 cups of water, maybe even more. Just keep drinking after your workouts, during, before. Don't forget. Like, the most underrated exercise, and I did lots of it when I was cutting. Okay, let's talk why walking is the best exercise. So walking is just like a low impact cardio, and it burns calories. It's very convenient, very easy. You don't have to like plan it. You don't have to like figure out what you're gonna wear. You don't have to think about what you're gonna eat before and after. Just go on your walk. You can do it with your family. I personally aimed for 8 to 10k steps a day. If that sounds too much to you, just start slow. Like, literally just go on a 10-minute walk, slowly increase to 15, 20, 30, and then if you don't have time, that's okay. I didn't hit 10k steps every single day. I just kind of like tried to move as much as I could, and moving just as much as you can around the house is going to increase your non-exercise activity, which I talked about, and has been proven to be the most effective way to actually increase your total daily energy expenditure. So walking was like my daily low impact cardio, but I also like to do like more high intensity stuff, like 2 to 3 times a week. And that would be like sprint intervals. Like, when I went on my walk, I would like add some sprinting. I also like to do like some intervals on the treadmill, the elliptical. It's so underrated. Like, if you go like 30 seconds hard and like 10 seconds off, and then just repeat many times, those workouts, I like those workouts. I personally really like them, and they burn a lot of calories in a very short amount of time. So that might work better for some people who don't have time to hit 10k steps a day. And if you don't like walking, maybe try jogging. That's just like less time consuming. So those are just things to keep in mind. Okay, now let's talk about cardio. Now, people have like mixed feelings about cardio. Many people, when they try to lose fat and lose weight, they do too much and eat too little, which is going to make it so much harder for you. Just like I said, you don't want to be eating too little. It's only going to slow down your metabolism. It's not sustainable. It's going to drain the life out of you. It's just, you're not going to be happy. You don't want to be living just to do cardio and eat too little. That's not how your life should be, and that is why I'm trying to promote healthy, sustainable fat loss, which can be done in a very healthy, sustainable way. If you eat in a modest calorie deficit, just try to move as much as you can during the day. Eat volume foods, just eat a high protein diet. And my next point is lifting weights, which is the most important fact. Okay, if you really want to lose fat in a very sustainable way, and a way that's actually going to transform your body, you have to lift weights, and I'm going to explain why. So the more lean mass you have, the more calories your body is actually going to burn, and not just at rest. Just let's take 2 people doing cardio. The person who has more muscle is going to burn more calories doing cardio. It's not just about burning more calories at rest. It's about how much energy your body's going to need just to move. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you're going to burn, and that is why lifting weights is the best way. Lifting weights has helped me raise my metabolism, and I've been able to eat more just because I have put on more muscle and I have to maintain it. Now, just like I said, it is possible to build muscle in a calorie deficit, and for those people who don't want to be eating less, you can actually lose fat and build muscle at the same time without eating in a calorie deficit and just eating your maintenance calories, and that is called body recomposition. That's like a whole other different topic that needs a separate video, so I'm not going to be talking about it. However, there are so many good videos on YouTube that I have seen. Like Jeff Nippard has a really good one, so please go make sure you watch it so you can just educate yourself about body recomposition if you are considering. Okay, here's another very important tip. Do not weigh yourself every single day, and you do not have to weigh yourself, if I'm being honest, because I feel like that's not a very good indicator of your progress. I personally like to take progress pics like almost every single day, because I kind of post on my workouts every day, but those are like the best indicators because you can actually see the changes, especially if you're like trying to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. The scale does not mean shit because muscle actually weighs more than fat. it's heavier than fat. So if you are gaining weight on the scale but you look leaner, you're losing inches, that's called body recomposition, because you're losing the fat, building muscle. That is amazing. Like, weight gain is not always a bad thing. Like, it's, the society kind of demonized weight gain, but it's really not a bad thing. And weight loss is not always the answer. That's why I'm kind of trying to focus on fat loss, because they are not the same. And before I end this video, I just want to clarify that my message is not that you had to get smaller and just like get very lean to be beautiful and just accept yourself. I just want to help you guys do it the right way and do fat loss in a healthy, sustainable way, because I know it can be very frustrating and you can fall into the trap of like eating too little and just doing too much cardio, getting frustrated. So please just take it slow, be patient, enjoy yourself, enjoy the process, make sure you're enjoying your workouts, don't force yourself. And if it makes you happy, then keep doing it, but just don't focus too much on weight loss, on fat loss, and just focus on getting strong, building muscle, because just like I explained, that is the best way to just transform your body over. So I guess what I'm trying to say is weight loss and fat loss aren't always the answer. I think the answer is just to actually lift weights, eat a high protein diet, and just get those gains. And I promise you, that is how you're gonna see real change. So please just focus on pushing yourself in the gym, eating enough, fueling your body, and I promise you, you are gonna see results. Just be patient and enjoy yourself. Okay, now let's summarize everything I just talked about, and I hope you took some notes, because I know it can be very overwhelming, but I encourage you to do more research on this, because this is how I learned, this is how I was able to achieve results. It's by learning and applying the knowledge, and it actually works. Just be patient and you will see results. Don't get discouraged too fast. Now, to summarize, you need to be in a caloric deficit to lose fat. You cannot spar reduce fat. That is the only way. You need to eat a high protein diet to preserve muscle and target fat loss, and instead of like to keep the muscle instead of losing the muscle. You need to strength train and lift weights to keep muscle and build muscle by eating enough protein. And please do not cut out carbs. Carbs are not the enemy. Practice volume eating, low calorie, big meals. Stay hydrated, walk. Just walk it away. Get your steps in. You don't have to do too much cardio, 2 to 3 sessions. It's not mandatory, but it helps you. Take diet breaks if you hit a plateau. If you found this helpful, please subscribe, like this video, check my TikTok, my Instagram. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any more additional questions. I will probably be making more videos about reverse dieting, body recomposition, and just like other topics that might help you achieve your fitness goals. And I'll see you guys next time.